Libra. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for February of 2022. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
I'm Julie Mijas in San Francisco.
Well, Libra, things may have been messy at home in the last month as retrograde planets sweep back and forth through your fourth house of home and family. And this may be impacting relationships with family members, relationships with your children, your parents, anywhere in the generations. But I've good news. As we will tell you today, things are about to get a lot better. And if all of this has raised any questions in your mind, you could get a natal and transit reading or even a child reading to find out more about what's been going on and what you can do about it. You'll find a link for that in the YouTube description below. Well, Ceres has been retrograde, and that's been a big financial challenge for all of us and has caused us to really be driven to return to the fundamentals, the basic values that we have in life, so that we could sort out our finances. And Ceres, blessedly, is now direct and speeding up and exiting her shadow period. This has impacted you mostly in the finances that you share with other people, the 8th house, but also with Ceres about to move back into your 9th house, you're going to see the effects in your worldview, your very philosophy of life, and your capacity to feel hopeful and expansive about your finances. So that's a nice thing to look forward to. You can find out more about Ceres retrograde and how that has gone in our January 2022 news playlist on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology. Hey, Julia, I know you've got news for the Libras of the world about Mars, Mercury, and Venus. What's that stuff all about?
Yeah, a lot of news about that, especially because of how they're impacting Libra's 4th house. Big emphasis on home and family issues this month. So we'll begin with Mars. That's the planet of action. Wherever we have Mars is where we're very active that month. And Mars spends the whole month in your 4th house. Again, house of home and family, as well as the past too. So with Mars in the 4th, Mars is also the planet that can represent our anger too. So Mars in the 4th can mean that this is a bit of a contentious period with the people you live with, your family, or maybe there's something from the past that comes up now that really kind of bothers you. Mars in the 4th can be a wonderful time for getting a lot of stuff done at home. If you're working from home, you can probably get a lot of great work done. If you're not working from home, then maybe you can do a lot of home projects and really get that energy out in a much more constructive way. Now, Mercury, the planet of communication and mentation, starts the month retrograde in your 4th house. So with Mercury retrograde, it's a time of miscommunications because when planets go backwards, it's kind of a time of having to go back over what that planet signifies. So with Mercury retrograde in the 4th, this could be a time of miscommunications with the people you live with, as well as family members too. On February 3rd, Mercury goes direct, so pretty early in the month. And then by the 14th, it's going to cross over into your 5th house. The 5th house is the house of games, children. It's also a very creative house too. And Mercury is a planet that loves games. It's kind of known as a little bit of a trickster planet. So it kind of enjoys pranks and kind of, riling people up a little bit. So with Mercury in the Mercury in the 5th after the 14th, your mind could be really preoccupied with just kind of fun stuff. Like maybe you want to play more video games. Maybe you want to do some trivia night or go out to some clubs because the 5th house represents places of amusements. This can be a wonderful transit for doing a lot of creative writing because the 5th house is creative and Mercury represents writing. And, this can be a transit where you notice there's an increase in communications with your children too, if you have any. And if you don't have any children, maybe this is a cycle where you're thinking and planning about future children too, if you're into that. And then Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationships, everybody's favorite planet. She's just finished a whole retrograde cycle that took a full 6 weeks, and it technically ended on the 29th of January. However, it's going to take a few weeks for Venus to start gaining some momentum and moving faster in the sky. So you could still be feeling a little bit of that retrograde cycle. Now, with Venus retrograde, it was a time of intense relationship review. So if you were dealing with any relationship issues over the last 6 weeks, maybe they're going to start to actually get a little bit smoother and you can move forward. And Venus is going to be in Capricorn, which is your fourth house all month. So Venus in the fourth adds a little bit of luck and pleasure to your home life. So that might mean you enjoy spending more time at home than going out. Your Mercury in the fifth house, the second half of the month, might want to go out a little bit, but maybe he's content to just play video games at home because Venus is going to be in the fourth house too. Venus in the fourth house can be a wonderful time to beautify your home, buy new things to make your home more enjoyable. Maybe you get a cool new kitchen appliance and you're making more stuff at home. Anything that can bring more pleasure to the home front is what Venus in the fourth house is all about. So enjoy that.
My brain did a funny thing with what you just said.
Oh, yeah,
My brain said, don't just make your home more enjoyable, make your home more enjoyable. If you live with a woman, bring her some pleasure. It'll make your home life so much nicer. Mm-hmm.
I like that. I really like that.
Okay, so I want to tell you about Juno because this is a great segue from Venus. Venus is the goddess of love and beauty and has more to do with like the heart of the relationship, whereas Juno is more about the structure of the relationship. She's also a kind of a social director. So wherever Juno goes, it's a good idea to improve your social life or improve that house's area of your committed relationships, like your marriage, for example, or a business partnership. So Juno is going to move into the fifth house here on February 2nd and spend the rest of the month in the fifth house, going well into next month there as well. The fifth house, as Julia just said, is a house of the pleasures of life, having fun, entertainment, gaming, for example. And so I think that this transit says that it's important to balance the seriousness of your relationships with some fun. And so you might spend this transit of Juno asking yourself, how can this committed relationship have more play incorporated? And how could that give the partners access to more creativity, through unself-conscious play and just plain having fun together? And that can be a useful principle to apply to a marriage in your personal life or to your business partnership too. So the next thing I want to talk about is this month's 2 moons, and it actually begins on January 31st with the new moon in Aquarius, which is going to really create the feeling of the beginning of the month. And new moons are times for new beginnings, fresh starts, planting seeds for the future. Things that don't blossom right away, they're planted generally in the darkness of the new moon and they come to fruition later. And so this particular moon falling in Aquarius, which is a sign associated with intelligence, genius, thinking outside the box. So we're calling this one diligently cultivate the seeds of genius. Saturn brings in the theme of diligence. The square to Uranus amps up the genius. Also, perhaps a feeling of rebellion may be a part of that too. But this moon falls in your house of creativity. And I think that this is a really great time for starting new creative projects, or maybe doing a little blatant self-promotion, growing in confidence in yourself, planting the seeds of confidence and a more authentic self-expression. So that one is happening at the end of January and pouring over into early February. And then we have the second moon of this month, which is the full moon here in Leo, falling in your very social 11th house. opposite that sun in Aquarius, still there in your fifth house. Now, this one's a little bit more complicated. It involves the South Node in Scorpio, the North Node in Taurus, and Ceres. And by the way, you can find out about both of these moons on our monthly forecast page on our website, pandoraastrology.com. And it's well worth looking up those videos so you can understand these moons more deeply. But suffice it to say that the moon in Leo loves to radiate, loves to shine and glow. It brings so much vivacity and just sheer joy of living. It falls in your 11th house, which is your social life. So this is a great moon for enhancing your social life, but in a most particular way. We're calling this one a release addiction, become radiant. The house where the moon is shows where you can experience that radiance, but to do so, you have to release addictions and compulsions wherever this South Node is. And that would be your second house. So let go of compulsions to do with money and security. Instead, embrace more healthy behaviors in your finances shared with others or your investments, and watch for the good results to come in an increased sense of confidence and vitality in your friendships and social circles. Sounds really nice, right? Okay, then the last thing I want to tell you about is the seasonal shift. Here we have the sun in Aquarius finishing out the season of Aquarius, your fifth house, and moving on into your sixth house of work, health, and service. And that's going to happen. That's going to begin. The season of Pisces begins on February 18th, as you can see here, and will go for about 30 days. And during this time, you want to shine the spotlight of your high quality attention on your work life, your work environment, and the people that you work with there, those relationships with coworkers. The sun, of course, brings vitality and life force energy wherever it goes. And whatever house the sun is in is a really good place for you to pay some high quality attention and spread that sunlight of attention around so that things can grow there. So do that in your workplace, tweak your work systems, get better organized, grow your relationships with coworkers so that you can feel more confident and vital in your work life. And that's what this season is all about for you. All right, well, that's what we have for you today, Libra. Hope you enjoyed that. You can always find your horoscope for your sun sign or your rising sign on our website, pandoraastrology.com, in the horoscopes tab at the nav bar. And if this horoscope gives you questions that you would like answered in a one-on-one reading, Julia and I are available for that. You can find that on the readings tab, all the different kinds of readings that we do, and there are many of them. And if you're interested to learn more about astrology, there are also classes available on the website. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.